Now screen is visible. Anyone unmuted with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good morning, students. Welcome back to the course of Skill-Based Programming Lab, which is nothing but the Python programming. Today we are going to study the new concept in the Python programming, which is basically arithmetic operators or simply the operators. Here we are going to discuss the various types of the operators which are available in the Python. Similarly, some of the operators that you have studied in the earlier programming, it is also available here, but the new operators are also introduced which may be used in most of the operations. So here we are going to take a review on all the types of the operators in Python. So we are going to discuss the arithmetic operator, relational operator, assignment operator, logical operator, bitwise operator, membership operator, and identity operator. Whereas in the C programming languages or the Java programming languages, you have seen the arithmetic, relational, assignment, logical, bitwise operator. So here also it will remain the same with a little bit of some addition of the operator in a particular type. Whereas the membership operator and identity operators are new here, we will discuss the concept or the meaning of that operator, where it can be used. So these are the set of the classifications: arithmetic assignments, unary, minus, relational operator, relational operators, logical operators, bitwise operators, membership operator, and identity operator. Here, no increment and decrement operator is there, because we know that in a case of for loop, we have also seen the incrementation and decrement is basically increment is your automatic. Now, these are the set of the arithmetic operator. Plus, it performs the addition, minus performs the subtraction, multiplies performs the multiplication, divide symbol, it performs the division. Then mod, it performs the modulus, that perform modulus division between the operand. Then double star, it is nothing but your exponent. It performs the exponent. Whereas double divide, it is nothing but your integer division. It performs the integer division. Now you can see that 13 plus 5 18, then 13 minus 5 8, then 13 multiplied by 5 65, 13 divided by 5 2.5. So these are the basic operation, or 13 divided by 5 3. So these are the basic operations that we know what it does. In case of divide, it gives the quotient. In case of mod, it gives the remainder. But whenever you are using double star sign, 13 multiplied 5, it is nothing but 13 raised to 5. It goes an exponent. We have seen in the case of list, if you are writing list 1 multiplied 3, so what it times? 3 times list will be printed. So here 13 multiply 5, what it gives? Double multiplies here. So basically it is nothing but 13 raised to 5, and the result will be generated. So exponent will be performed. Next is your 13 double divide by 5. So it gives 2. You can see the difference between the single divide and double divide. In case of the single divide, the same is given 13 divided by 5, so it gives the value as 2.6, right? That is your float value. But whenever you are using 13 double divide by 5, so it gives an integer division value. So here it only returns as 2. So whenever you require, as per that, you can utilize these two, either double float division, or either you can use your integer division. Next is your assignment operator. Whatever the operator we have discussed in case of arithmetic operator, the same operator is here with the assignment symbol equal to, we can utilize it. And all other operations or the meaning, it will remain same. Like assignment is basically an equal operator, so it is used to assign a value. So equal, plus equal, minus equal, multiply equal, divide equal, mod equal, double star equal, and double divide equal. So equal, basically you can write this. This is used for just simplification of the statement to write. For example, you can see the first statement equal x equal to y. So both the values are same. X plus is equal to y. What is the meaning of it? X plus is equal to y. It is equivalent to x is equal to x plus y. So to short this statement, we can write it as x plus is equal to y. So here both the values of x and y will be added and it will be assigned into x. So whenever you will print the value of x, it will be printed. Whereas all the assignments, all the arithmetic operators are used along with their equal symbol. So only that is used for the representation. X divide equal to y. So what is it is equivalent to x is equal to x divided by y. So if you want to write x is equal to x divided by y, instead of that you can also write x divided equal to y. For that purpose the assignment operator is to be used. If you have understood the arithmetic operator, it will be simpler to write by using the assignment operator. Next, some new concept is here. Assignment operator. Suppose you have written a is equal to b is equal to 1. Here you have written a is equal to b is equal to 1. So whenever you are printing print a comma b, it will return the value as output as 1 and 1. Suppose the second statement is a is equal to 1, b is equal to 2. Whenever you are printing print a comma b, it will print the output as 1 2. Right here in both the cases, what we are doing earlier, like earlier Java programming, we are initializing a value to the variable, either both the variable at the same time or the both the variable separately. A is equal to b is equal to 1 or a is equal to 1 semicolon or b is equal to 2, right? But here in case of the Python, at the same time you can assign a value to the multiple variable. You can see the arrow mark here, a comma b is equal to 1 comma 2. So here simultaneously we are assigning a value to a multiple variable. So here we are writing a comma b is equal to 1 comma 2. So a is having now value 1 and b is having a value 2. So whenever you are going to print a comma b, you will get both the values 1 and 2. Suppose you have changed the order of the value, a comma b is equal to 2 comma a, 2 comma 1. So now a will become 2 and b will become 1. In this way you can also initialize a value to a multiple variable using a Python. Next is unary minus. Unary minus, as the name indicates, it is the symbol used for the minus. If you want a certain minus value should be written, for that you can use the minus symbol. Example is n is equal to 10, print minus n. So output will be minus 10. Suppose we are writing num is equal to minus 10 and num is equal to minus num. So basically it will become your minus into minus, it will become plus. So whenever you are going to print it, it will print a value as 10. That is your positive value. So whenever you require a unary minus sign, at that time minus symbol is to be introduced. So whenever you are going to print it, it will be printed onto the output. Next is your relational operator. Relational operators are greater than or equal to, less than or equal to or not equal to. Not equal to can also be written on greater than, less than together. Basically that is used to return a logical value, that is your true value or false value. Right, instead of displaying the 0 or 1, it will give you the value output as the true or false. Suppose we are having in the example the value of a is equal to 1 and b is equal to 2. Whenever you are going to print it, print a greater than b. So a is 1 and b is 2. So basically a is not greater than b, so it will return the output as false. Next one, a greater than equal to b. Once again 1 is not greater than or equal to 2, so it gives a false value. Third is a less than b, print a less than b. Yes, 1 less than 2, so it gives a true value. We'll go for the last instruction, print a not equal to b. So here a is 1 and b is 2. Both are not equal, so it will print the value as true. So basically it is used to return a logical value, the boolean value, either it will be true or either it will be false, which can be used in the expression. Like if I will say the example, find the largest between two numbers or three numbers. At that time, you should use the relational operators in between your expression of if to find out the particular number. So you should select a particular relational operator where it has to be utilized. Let us see the simple example. Suppose in this example, I have taken the value as a is equal to 1 and b is equal to 2. And we are using the if statement. If a greater than b colon, print yes. else print no. So here the value of a 1 is not greater than 2, right? So it will go into the else part, that will print a no. But at this here relational operator is used as a greater than b. Suppose can we use the relational operator like a chain? Yes, you can use a relational operator like a chain. For example, you can consider here x is equal to 15. Print 10 less than x less than 20. So here x is 15. So 10 is less than 15. 15 is less than 20. So it prints the true statement. As you can see the print statement, second last statement, print 1 less than 2 less than 3 less than 4. Yes. 1 is less than 2, 2 is less than 3, 3 is less than 4. Yes, it prints a true value. Similarly, you can write the change statement in this way also. Print 4 greater than 2, 2 greater than equal to 2, 2 greater than 1. Right? So what it will do? It will print a true value. So the relational operator is used in the expression, or it can also be used like your chained expression where you can write a multiple expression together. Next is your logical operator. It is your and or not operator. So basically it is used in between two relational operators or two relational expressions. As you can see the example, print 1 greater than 4. This is one relational operator or the expression, and is used, and there is a second relational operator, the expression 4 greater than 3. So to combine two expressions together, for that purpose the logical operator is to be used. But suppose there is one more statement expression as 3. So once again either you can use and or not along with that. In the first case 1 greater than 4 and 4 greater than 3. Right. Whenever both the conditions are true, then in that case you in the end operator it gives the true value. If anyone is false, it returns a false value. So 1 greater than 4, it is your 1 greater than 4, it is false, but 4 greater than 3, it is true. So false and true, basically it will return you the false. Next is 1 greater than 4 or 4 greater than 3. Now if anyone is true, in case of or, it will return a true value. So 1 greater than 4 is false, but 4 greater than 3 is true. 1 is true, so it will return a true value. And then not operator, basically it will negate your output. 4 greater than 1, it is true, but not is used, so not will become a negate of it, so it will give you the false value. So here we have understood where to use the logical operator. It is used in between the relational expression. Now next is your bitwise operator. Bitwise operator is nothing but it performs the operation on the individual bits. Your entire integer data will be converted into the bits, then particular operation is to be performed on the individual bits. After performing that operation, it has to be converted back into the integer data type, and then it will be printed. But basically internally it performs the operation on the individual bits. So it has the different types of the operator like ones complement and binary or binary XOR, left shift and right shift. All you can see that these operator work similar way like you have seen in the case of the Java as well. It is used in between the two operands. So here it is used in between the two operand. Like operand is your X and Y. You can see that complement X, then and X and Y, X or Y, X or Y, X left shift 2, and then X right shift 2. So basically we'll get the output. But whenever X and Y is there, you have to convert it into the binary representation as I explained in the case of Java as well. And then it will perform the operation once again convert it back. So you will get this set of value in the integer format.
Sir, can you explain that how we get that output in the example?
Whenever you in the example is that what I'm saying to you here, these are the operators which are used along with the operand. Suppose this is the number X and this is the number Y, right? So first you should convert your number X into the binary number that is 0 and 1. Convert 240 into your 0 and 1s. Once you have converted, convert 1 into your 0 and 1s. Two numbers are there, convert both the number into the binary format. After converting both the numbers into the binary form, so it will be in the form of 0 0 1 0 1 0 1 etc. So you have to perform the AND operation. Whenever you want to perform the AND operation, you should remember the AND table. AND table is what? Whenever any value A or B, there is only two value X and Y. So x has a set of 1, b has set of y has set of 1. So we'll consider as x, a and b, right? One number I will take it from x, one number I will take it from the y, from the same position. Then it will be compared with the end table. Table कैसा होगा? 0 0 होगा. Whenever a and b is 0, the output is 0. When any one is 0, so the output will be 0. When both are 1, then only it will be 1. So in that you will perform the AND operation. Now you will get once again the uh, binary bits of it. So
Then, sir,
whenever you
after
have
that,
got,
we have to again convert it into the decimal
yes,
after
once
we get
again
the
after
result in
getting
binary.
the binary value, after you got the result as the binary value, then you have to convert it in once again back into the digital integer format, and then the result will be displayed. In this way you can do it. Hope you have understood.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You take one simple example after this lecture. You take one simple example. First, you run it on the Python and try to see what is the output. And after that, try to convert it into the binary. And by using paper and pen, you try to find it out. But you should remember the table of AND, table of OR, table of XOR. And you should also know how to convert it into the binary from digital to integer to binary, then binary to integer. So here we have understood what are the different types of the bitwise operators. Next is your membership operator. This is the new operators which are used in most cases. So that is your in and not in operator. The in operator, it returns true if the specified operator is available in the sequence. For example, if you want to search into the list, if you want to search into the tuple, if you want to search into the set, if it is available, data is available, it can be checked with the help of that in. And if the data is there, it will return a true value, right? So not in, if you want to search, this should not be available. So it returns true if a specified operand is not found in the sequence. You can see the example here. str1 is equal to John. So O in str1. So O is available in this string John. So O in str1, it returns a true value. K, now we want to search K. K is not available in the str1. So whenever you are writing the statement K in str1, it returns a false value. Similarly, A not in, here we are using not in str. Str is basically, for example, this is your string, right? A not in str, it returns a true value because we are checking for not availability. So it returns a true value. For example, if you have, as I have said in the case of in operator explanation, the list as well, whenever you want to see the list of the voters, your name is available or not. If it is available in the form of the list, you will simply write this statement, your name in list. If available, it will return a true. If it is not available, it will return a false value. So at that time, you can utilize it. Or in the library also, whenever you want to search a particular books, right? So if the list of the book is to be available, write down the name of the book. Then under the search, this logic is to be written book name in list. If it is available, it will be display the information. If it is not available, so it will give you the false value that not available. Next is your identity operator. So these two operators are is and not is operator. It returns true if two variables point to the same object. Remember it, if two variables pointing to the same object, and false otherwise. Means here it will check, for example, their identity or the address. If they are both the variables are pointing to the same or not. हमने variable के time देखा था, if the two variables are having the same value, so that will only assign a tag to that. It does not create another memory for the other variable. So here we are checking it in the identity operators. So it returns true if the two variables point to the same object and false otherwise. Is not, what is that? It returns false if two variables point to the same object and true otherwise. Let us see the example so it will be more clear. As you can see it here in the first example on the left hand side, x is equal to 10 and y is equal to 10. Right? Two variables are assigned the same value. Whenever you will check the ID or the address of it, ID of X, you can say that it is 17645715536. Similarly, whenever you will check the ID of Y, once again it is same as the previous one, means the same tag is assigned. So if we'll check X is Y, it returns true if two variables points to the same object, and here both are pointing to the same object, so it returns a true value, right? X is not, here we are not checking for it that both are not same. So here X is not same, it returns a X is not Y. So here it returns a false value because both are referring to the same. Suppose you have used the X is equal to 10, Y is equal to 20. At that time X is not Y, so it will be true, and X is Y, it will become a false. Next statement you see, X is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, that is your list. Y is equal to the 1, 2, 3, 4 second list, right? Two separate lists are there. Now this is not a variable, this is list. Now we'll check the ID of X and ID of Y. You can see to it the ID of X is different, but the ID of Y is different. In the case of the list, the matter is different as compared to the variable. So you can see the ID 939304648, but here 39304568. The ID of X and Y both are different. So if you check X is Y, it gives the false, but you will check X is not Y, it gives the true. Both are different. So in the case of the variable, it gives the same, but in case of the list, sorry, in case of the list, it may give as the different. So these, for that purpose, these identity operators are used to check either they are pointing to the same memory location or not. Operator precedence and associativity.
Sir, hello,
Precedence,
sir.
yes,
Hello. So that
yes,
ID refers to that address. That ID refers to the address, sir.
yes, yes, yes.
That previous slide. That ID
Previous
refers
slide,
to the
right?
address, no?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
ID refers to their
And
identity.
that I
Uh,
and that ID is the method.
yes, ID is the method to find out the ID of that particular variable. ID is
Okay.
basically
Thank
right.
you.
Like for example, we have seen the type, right? Type of X. So type of X is nothing but it is used to find out the data type of X. Similarly, ID is basically your identity to find out the identity of the variable where it is stored. Identity means the address where it is stored. For that purpose, ID method is to be used along with your variable. So it will give you the locations where it is stored. Hope the answer is clear.
Yes, sir.
Next is your operator precedence and associativity. Precedence means the priority. So here each and every operator has their level of the priority. So it will be executed based on that. So it will goes from the parenthesis, then scripting, then exponential, then positive, negative, bitwise, not, etc. Then multiplication, division, then addition, subtraction, then shift, then bitwise and or XOR, then comparisons. So these are the order of the precedence of the operators. So it will be executed on the value of your precedence. Similarly, these other operators, assignment operator, identity operators, membership operator, logical, not logical, or and then logical and operator. So these are nothing but the precedence, the priority is assigned to the operator. Similarly, each and every operators also has the associativity. You have to refer it in the book. What is associativity? If the operators of the equal precedence occur into the same expression, then how it will be executed, it will be decided by your rules of associativity. That you have seen, it may go from left to right, it may go from right to left. So that is your rules of associativity. You have to see that if the operators of equal precedence occur into the same expression, then it follows the rule of the associativity for the execution. So these rules of the associativity you have to refer to it. So hope you have understood the difference between the priority and associativity. Now here we have learned all the different types of the operators along with their examples and basically how and where it is to be used. So I hope this topic is clear to everyone. This is one motivational quote for you students. Work hard in silence. Let success make the noise. So keep yourself as silent as possible and you reach at one position where your designation will make a noise. So can anyone reply, unmute and reply what are the different types of the operators in Python? Anyone, those who want, unmute and reply.
Operators
Arithmetic
are
operator, assignment operator, bitwise operator, logical operator,
Relational.
Relational operator.
Identity
Member,
operator.
Membership operator.
Identity.
operator. Okay, and
membership operator.
membership operator. Very nice. These two are new, identity and the membership operator, whereas all other operators are same as the previous one. Only some more is added, like your exponent in the single integer and double. Can anyone tell me the difference between the single and double integer?
Uh, so repeat the question once again.
Can anyone tell me the difference between the single division and double division symbol?
Single division.
Single division, we get the float value.
One at a time. Who is going to tell once? Khan Samir.
Single division means normal division, while double division will take its uh, only integer value. It will not
Integer
get
Floor
value
float
and
value.
value.
float value, we can say. Yes, yes. Can anyone tell me the difference between the single multiplication and double multiplication?
Single multiplication is only for multiplication, double multiplication for exponent.
Exponential. Very good. Means you have understood it
Right.
clearly. Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now I'm starting the next topic. Screen is visible?
Not yet.
Not it?
Visible, sir.
Okay. Now we are going to see the other topic, which is nothing but your IO statement, input statement and output statement. How to accept the input and how to display the output. Basically, for the input to accept the input from the user, the input method is used. Input method followed by open and close bracket. Inside open and close bracket, you can write any string which will be printed onto the screen at the time of asking the input. So input is the method for accepting the input from the user. Similarly, the output for displaying the output onto the console, either we want to display the string or either we want to display the values. In both of these cases, the print statement is to be used. Print followed by open and close round brackets. In between that, if you want to print a string, string will be written. If you want to print a value of the variable should be written. So these two are the methods are used. Now we'll see how these can be used. So basically, this is the simple architecture how it flows. First, whenever you require anything is to be processed. Process means the logical operation which you want to do. For that purpose, two things are required. One is your input and second is your output. So here we will only concentrate on the input module and the output module, and the processing is basically your logical operations that we are studying from the start. So here we'll discuss the output statement first. What are the different Python output statement, how it can be written. As we know that still we have written in many program the print statement, but here we'll try to see all the alternatives of it. For example, if you're writing print open and close bracket, you're not writing anything. So it will display you the blank line. Second, print, and then inside a round bracket, if you write inside the double quotes, that will be string and it will be displayed same as it is. Print open and close round bracket, in that if you write hi, for example, string inside a single quote, once again it will be considered as string and it will be displayed same as it is. Now print, this is the, after that we will use the slash n. Slash n is nothing but your new line skip sequence character that you studied in the C as well as Java. Then after that we are writing the first line, and it is enclosed inside the double quote. So whenever we run this line, so it will give you the output in two lines. This is the, after that slash n will be executed, the control will be transferred to the next line, then it will print first line. Then the next statement, print this is the, then slash t. Basically, this is your tab sequence, which are used to give you the space. And then after that, writing a first line. Everything is included inside the double quote. So whenever you are writing this one, it will give the output as this is the space first line. Next is your print 3 multiplied by high. So what it will do, 3 is without the quote, multiply, then high, it will be inside the single quote. So high will be printed 3 times. Similarly, you can use the plus as well as comma operator in the print. For example, print city name is equal to inside the quote plus Mumbai inside the quote. Second, next statement is city name is equal to inside the double quotes, comma Mumbai inside the double quote. So the output of these two lines will be same. It will be display the city name is equal to Mumbai in all these two statements. So here we have understood that when it will go to the next line, when it won't go to the next line. If you don't write inside the double quotes, what will be there inside the round brackets? So what will be displayed? If you're writing something inside, it will be considered string. Here we can use how to print a multiple number of times that particular statement. Here also we have understood how we can use the plus and comma operator along with your print statement. These are the certain alternatives in which you can use your print statement. Now look the separator. Here print variable statement along with the separators. So what is separator? Separator is basically used to separate the output. If you want to separate the output, for that purpose separator is to be used. For example, you want to display the output as 2 space 4 space 6 space something, or you want to display the output as 2 comma 4 comma 6 comma something, or you want to display 2 colon 4 colon 6 etc. For that purpose, this is nothing but your separator. So if you want to use the separators, so you can use it as separator is equal to characters that will be included inside the double quotes, right? SEP is basically your variable we want to declare as the separators. Now we'll see the example so it will be more clear to you. Suppose we have declared the two variable. Less than 1 minute is left. Once the session gets over, we'll take a break of 5 minutes. Then once again you have to log in it. A comma B is equal to 2 comma 4. We are printing A, then 2 will be displayed. We are printing A comma B, so 2 comma 4 is displayed. Now we are going for the red color statement. Print A comma B comma SEP is equal to inside the double quotes comma. So you can see the output. So here the separator is comma, so it will be displayed 2 comma 4. Next is print A comma B comma SEP is equal to double quotes colon. So separator is colon between the two variables. So here output will be displayed 2 colon 4. Now we have print A comma B comma SEP is equal to double minus. So whenever you run this program between the those two variables, so minus 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 will be printed. So basically this separator is used to separate the data one from the other. If you are uh, wants to separate the data with the help of specific symbol like your comma colon or minus symbol or a hyphen symbol etc or underscore symbol, anything in that scenario you can include it.